You press it. Okay, and do it again at the end. Okay. All right. So I have a problem. Let's call it another one of my pet peeves. Don't you hate when people are too sensitive? I mean, not regular levels of being sensitive, but like extra about everything, which makes it makes me wonder, when is it too much? Okay, so I was driving a couple months ago in Georgia and I saw a sign for a museum, Uncle Remus and Brer Rabbit. And I heard of the movie before, but I never actually got a chance to see it. So I went home trying to look it up at the, red box. And apparently it's been banned since the 80s. Okay. Now, some people felt that it had racial overtones and they were just a little bit uncomfortable and it was just too much. I'll admit there's a few movies about slavery that make me uncomfortable and I flat out won't watch. I procured this film though, and I simply didn't see anything wrong with it. Since then, I've seen and read about many incidents where the simple things are read a little too deep. They're just taken a little too serious and people are a little too sensitive. People are offended by the past and the present, which makes me afraid for the future. This is why I think people should stop being so sensitive. Now, there's a quote on everydayfeminism.com that says, if you're not outraged, then you're not paying attention. Now, we can agree there's so many things wrong with the world. But so many people wanting you to stress out about it every day, about everything, is frankly ridiculous. In this country alone, there's so much oppression. I mean, in the history of this country alone, there's so much oppression. It was stolen from one group and then built on the backs of another. I'm going to spare you guys the facts in between about other stuff. It slowly made its way to the basic freedoms for everyone that we have today. But the stamp of the founding fathers is everywhere. I mean, there are statues, they made the laws that we live by, they're even on the money that we carry in our pocket to buy what we want. After a white nationalist rally in August of 17 turned violent, the New York Times said that many government officials are calling for the statues, monuments, markers from Civil War figures to be removed and taken down. They've taken down quite a few so far. But as I've mentioned, they've made a stamp everywhere. So how far are we willing to take this? To make sure no one is ever offended, how deep do we need to go? People want to change things from holidays to team names. It's crazy. Are we going to rewrite history and give blacks credit for things they really invented, but couldn't take credit for? I mean, think about it. Did Eli Whitney really invent the cotton gin? Even though we think it's impossible, many people today are walking on eggshells. You can't say anything remotely if it remotely seems like it might make someone minorly uncomfortable. We all know the huge taboo words and behaviors, but there's often little things that trip people up. The media is constantly blowing it up and making it worse. On social media sites, there's constantly memes and posts that are designed to trigger you. So then you share it, then your friends all comment, and everybody's commenting about your offense, and then what you're saying could possibly be offending someone else, and you just get the whole thing going, and it's just a never-ending cycle. It's not only art history and culture, but we need to stop being so sensitive about politics, sexual preferences, and feminism, just to name a few things. According to crack.com, being offended is kind of like an American pastime. We even get bothered by people's behaviors that have nothing to do with us. Like the quiet kid over in the corner being a little weird. Some people get a little uncomfortable. So what will the future look like? Having a difference of opinion is great, and we often encourage it. We uplift the idea of freedom of speech until their opinion doesn't align with ours. It's personal. Each event, big or small, is specific to the person who's offended. I'm not saying there isn't good reasoning behind it, but words and actions are really powerful. They can really hurt people's feelings, and lots of people have lost their lives because of it. Words can breed tragedy. There's no way to fix it or make it better. Your move this way can bother someone else. And in a personal example, I don't like to be called African American. I prefer to be called Black. But you can't know me and call me Black and then go to someone else and call them Black. They may not like that. They may prefer to be called African American. And they may feel like it's offensive. So that's what I mean by it being something personal. It's crazy madness, just plain madness. We cannot win either way, and it's frustrating. We all just need to calm down. Our history didn't give us a good start, and we're constantly trying to move forward and make the world a better place. Being too sensitive or easily offended brings awareness to the feelings of others different from you, but it can and has been taken too far. Think about the little minor things that bother you a little too much and work on ways to handle it if you find yourself in that situation. I was hoping the end of a list of how not to offend someone, but after my research, I decided that you would have to already be dead. Thank you. That was probably super long. Was it long?
No.
Okay. Great. It felt super long.